welcome to the third of my build videos on the Tamiya Asterion on the XV01T chassis. Today we'll be concentrating on parts bag C, that's steps 11 to 17, so let's get on with it. Okay, step 11 is attaching the front suspension mounts. So I've got all the parts here I'm going to need. On the plastic side we've got JJ13, NN11, JJ12 and a second NN11, and then on the metal bits we're going to need BA3 2 off 3x6mm screws, BC1 4 off 3x8mm countersink screws, 2 off of BC8 which are steering posts, and obviously we're going to need the chassis to go with it. And with that, here's the chassis. And my mate Mark's been having some issues getting stone and gravel caught in the steering arms and stuff, so I'm going to try this. This is really dense foam that currently is just placed in here. I haven't glued it in or anything because I'm not sure if I need to come up any higher with some softer foam yet, so I'll just cut them out and place them in place for the minute. So we'll crack on, and I've got one of the BC8s and one of the BA3s, and again from looking at the diagram this is going to go in the front post hole like that, but again we've got metal on metal, so I think I want to put a dab of thread lock on this, which will be interesting. There we go. Don't know if you'll be able to see that. That'll do me. Come off. Oh. There we go. And then the others we pop a spacer in first, and then the mount, and these are directional, shall we say, and then we just need to stick a couple of screws in. And then repeat for the other side, and we can move on to, I think we'll call this the last step of this video, step 12, because there's lots more to do. So I'll get on, finish putting those two things back on, and get back to you shortly. Step 12 is making up the steering linkage, and for this we are going to need plastic parts KK3, KK4, KK5 and 4 off of BC19s, which are, according to Tamiya, adjusters, 5mm. And then on the metal parts we're going to need 2 off of BC2 3x8mm extremely flat-headed screws, 1 off of BC4 3x10mm grub screw, 2 off of BB8 which are the 5mm ball connectors, 1 off of BC6 which is the ball connector nut, and then 4 off of BC9 850 bearings, and 2 off of BC10, which is 730 bearings, and last but not least 2 off of BC12 3x42mm turnbuckle shafts. Right, now I remembered from my mate Mark's install video that these turnbuckles were absolutely horrendous to screw in. So as you can see, I've already done them. You need to line them up so that there's a 24.5mm gap to begin with the ball connector hole on this one side pointing up and on the other side pointing down, and on the second one, the right side one, again the ball connector hole pointing up and the other end the ball connector pointing the opposite way to the left side. So I've done all of that, which was a nightmare. So we'll get on to building this linkage up, and I think we'll start with KK3. And looking at this, we need to get the grub screw and start to screw it into this position here. There we go. And then another one of these dust covers. So get rid of that centre bit, and then we just need to start mounting these BC9 bearings. Hopefully they'll be fairly tight fit. No, not brilliantly tight, but there we go, that's that one done. This one just needs the bearings in. And then this one, we need the 2 ball connectors screwing in here. And then we need these tiny 730 bearings, one on either side, followed by one of these BC2s which poke through, and then we should be able to screw this on. Last couple of things, some more dust connectors, dust covers even, connectors. And with that we have the steering linkage made up, and we can swiftly move on to step 13, installing it. Step 13, installing the steering linkage even. And for this we're going to need part K4, which is this beast here. And then we're going to need metal parts BA2, 2 off 3x8mm screws, and 2 off of BA3s, 3x6mm screws, and the actual steering linkage. And by the looks of this, I think I'm also going to be wanting to put some thread lock on the parts. So we take the chassis, we're going to put the 6mm ones into the metal towers and the 8mm ones on the outside here and here. Once we've installed this little beast here, so this goes over here, and then this will show me how much clearance I've still got to take up with some sponge to hopefully stop any gravel getting in. So if we just stop, yes, I think I might have a look to see if I've got some really squidgy foam, very similar to this, that I can just blanket the whole lot over. So I might do that after this video is finished, and then we put the brace over the top, and like I say, but I won't do it just yet, we have the 2 screws that go into the top of the towers there, and then the 8mm ones go on either end, like so. If I can get it in, there we go. Okay, so here we have the steering installed. Moves quite freely for now. I managed to find a bit of thin foam, if you can see there, just to try and help prevent chips and stones getting stuck in the steering. Step 14, there's a lot of parts in this one. So many, or so much so that I've already built one up, but there we go. This is making up the front arms, and we'll get straight in it and say metal parts. We are going to need 2 off of BB2 3x10mm screws, 2 off of BC3's 2.6x5mm screws with a domed head, 2 off of BC4 3x10mm grub screws, 2 off of BC5 which are 5x8mm ball connectors, and 4 off of BB8 which are just the 5mm ball connectors, and then 2 off of BC7 which are kingpins according to Tamiya here. Then we also need 2 off of BA12 which are 1050 bearings, and 2 off of BC11 which are 5x3x2.5mm spacers. We also need 2 off of BC14 3x38mm shaft, 2 off of BC15 2.6x27mm shafts, 2 off of BC17s which are wheel axles short, and last but not least, on the metal parts, or out the metal parts bag, BC18 3mm O-rings. And then plastic parts, we're going to need 2 off of F2, the lower wishbones or A-arms, 1 off of C1 and D1 which are the right front axle hubs, and 1 off of D2 and C2 which are the left axle hubs. We also need 4 off of NN4 which are these little black plastic end caps, and 2 off of NN23s which are spacers, plastic. And I think that's about it. I've already started doing some prep work. I'll put the ball joint in the lower wishbone and the height adjustment grub screw in there. I just need to pop this ball joint into C2, and I believe, but it's not that easy to tell, but it doesn't really matter, but I think it's telling me to put the ball joint in the innermost hole. There we go. Then we need this beast, and we need this 10mm BB2, and we need to screw this all the way in according to the instructions, and I can't even get it going. Try that. Where's my screwdriver gone? I've lost my screwdriver. Then we can take the axle, take the O-ring, pop it in there, get a dog bone and force it down. Then the 1050 bearing, pop that on and pop it through like so. Then we can take the other wheel hub, axle, or whatever the hell they're calling it. I don't think they're giving it a name, just a number. And popping it, orientating it the right way round. So yeah, I've got that the wrong way round, like that. And then we need the spacer in the top, and then this 8mm ball connector. And then on the other side, or the other end, we need the kingpin. And then we need to poke it through there. I'm using the shorter stainless steel bar. We slide that through like so and get this last screw. And tighten that up. Not too tight though, because this is, in fact that's not tightening up at all. Oh, it is. Just about. But this is quite flexible plastic, this one, this grey stuff. And then we need to, once again, orientate, push the bar through. We just need a cap on that end and then a spacer on the back, and the second cap, and there we have the front suspension, albeit the caps fell off, but hey. Step 15 is attaching the level wishbones or A-arms, and for this we're going to need a couple of plastic parts. We're going to need NN26 and JJ3, those two there, and just the two BC1s 3x8mm screws. So we'll gently pick these up and move these into place. And then I'm assuming that goes in there like so. Whoops. And that goes in there like so. And then we get hold of JJ3 and pop it in like that. And hopefully pick it up. And we can hopefully see holes. I think I might just need to then hopefully that will screw in. And that should then hopefully mean that this other side lines up, which it does. There we have the arms on, and then it should just be a case of clicking in the steering rods. Something like so. We're just about ready for step 16. Right, step 16 is a fairly quick one. We're going to need 3 off of BA2s, which are 3x8mm screws, and 4 off of BC1s, which are 3x8mm countersink screws. And we're going to need the gearbox, front gearbox, and the chassis. And looking at this, it's just a case of slotting these 4 holes here, or bits, into this recess here in the chassis. Like that. And then if we turn this round a bit so you can see, we've got these 3 screws, which from looking at this, one goes in there. We'll just start these off. Oops. And the other 2 go, we just double check. Yep. Go in these 2 holes here for them. And then if we turn it over, the 4 countersunk screws will go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll get on and get those screwed up and be back for step 17. The last step for today, step 17, is attaching the front upper arms. As you can see, I've already made them. We'll just go through the parts. We're going to need 2 BA2s, 3x8mm screws, 3 BC1s, 3x8mm countersink screws, 2 BC13s, 3x23mm turnbuckles, 2 BC16s drive shafts long or dog bones, and 4 off BC19s 5mm bullhead connectors. And last but not least, we're going to be installing this quite beefy front bumper. So we'll crack on. Right, as I say, I've already put these on because they are an absolute nightmare to get on. They're so stiff that by the time I've finished with the back, I'll probably have blisters on my thumbs and stuff. But hey, I've made them up to the default 8.5mm gap, and you can just about see, but it is quite difficult to make out that if you look at this diagram here, you can see there's part of this shaft here doesn't have any thread on it, and that denotes the what's it called, counterclockwise thread. So when you come down to fit them, you can just about make out that that thread with the gap is sort of on the outside or to the right as you look at the front of the chassis, like that, for both of them, so that then when you tighten this up, it should tighten them both up and you don't have to worry about which way round things are. And I nearly did my great mate Mark's trick of sticking these on before putting the dog bone in. There we go, one dog bone in, and then it should just be a case of press it on. Easier said than done. Oh, there we go. And I believe it goes in to that one there, which is a lot easier. And then we come round here again, check my orientation. And that's the front end on. So I think we just pop this round. Slide that under there. Pop the centre countersink one in first. And there we have kind of one front end finished, except for the shock absorbers. So I'm sure they'll be coming soon, but I think next video we'll be doing the rear diff. So with that, I hope you enjoyed watching this and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers, bye!